You're listening to 107.9 WRML LP Mays Landing. Coming up next, a look at last week's retro video game news on the RGN Files for the week ending Sunday, April 8th, 2018. In the RGN Files this week, Activision has officially given gamers a release date for their highly anticipated remastered trilogy of the classic Spyro the Dragon series. Now called Spyro the Reignited Trilogy, the upcoming collection will contain all three of the original games that were first released on the original Sony PlayStation. The games will have new assets alongside of new cinematic appeal, updated animation and lighting, as well as a new save style feature, alongside of a remastered soundtrack and some cutscenes from the game reinstated. Spyro, the Reignited Trilogy, is slated to be officially available for the PlayStation 4 on September 21st, just 2 weeks after the 20th anniversary of the original game's release. In addition, the game is also going to be released for the Xbox One platform on the same date, making it the very first time that the series has been offered on a non-Sony console. There is currently no word on a distribution method or pricing at this time. At Games and Code Mystics have made the announcement that they will be releasing a third volume in their Atari Flashback Classic series. This series of games brings 50 classic Atari-branded video games from their legacy libraries to modern-day consoles. Atari Flashback Classics Volume 3 will offer something brand new to the series, games released for the Atari 5200 Super System. This will be the very first time that games from the 5200 are included in such a collection from any era. Some of the games from the Atari Super System that will be offered include Microgammon, Countermeasure, and the various games in their Real Sports franchise. The set is slated to be released soon and will be made available for both the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One platforms. While there is currently no word on a distribution method or pricing at this time, the previous two volumes were released on both physical and digital media and sold for just under $20. This past February, Retro Game Network reported on the continuing saga of the upcoming sequel to the 16-bit title Shaq Fu, which had been in development since 2014. When we updated everybody on the status of the game about a month and a half ago, we gave our readers an estimated time frame of when the game was going to be available. A new trailer for the game indicates that June 5th is now that date, slightly beyond the original anticipated time frame. PlayStation 4 gamers will be able to purchase the game digitally for under $20 or in physical media on both the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One for $10 additional. Nintendo Switch players will also be offered the game on a cartridge, selling for just under $40. In addition, if you purchased NBA Playgrounds for the Nintendo Switch, you will actually end up getting the full game at no additional cost. In addition, buyers that select the physical version as opposed to a digital version will also get downloadable content. However, it has not been yet identified as to what the DLC would contain. Retro gamers that are fans of highly atmospheric visuals as well as good puzzles may remember playing The Seventh Guest in the early days of CD-ROM-based computer gaming. A new game coming to the series called The 13th Doll has been officially announced by Attic Door Productions. Just like the other games in the series, the new title will also feature full-motion video sequences. However, this time, for the very first time, they will be recorded in high definition and then merged into the computer-generated 3D environments. In addition, actor Robert Heischbach, who played the part of Henry Stoff in the original two titles, will also be reprising his role. The new game will feature 26 new puzzles, played within 35 rooms with 3 different environments. The game also will offer 2 playable characters with specific plot lines, and the game will feature multiple endings. The 13th Doll will be released via GOG and Steam for computer systems, with prices starting as low as $15, depending on the extras that you select. However, it should also be noted that a physical media version is also in the works that will sell for about $150, which will include not only the game but additional goodies as well. CollectorVision has given new information and details about their upcoming CollectorVision game system. The CGS is an upcoming clone of the ColecoVision console, first released back in the early 1980s. Some of the new features include HDMI compatibility, making existing games look and play better due to technological issues that occur when playing legacy consoles on modern televisions. The CGS will also offer Opcode's Super Game Module built in, offering advanced homebrew titles with enhanced graphics and sound. Alongside of 2 standard controller ports, it will also feature a Super Famicom import designed for use with the NTT data controller, which offers a better feel with SNES-like controls, but also offered a built-in numeric keypad, which is required for most ColecoVision titles. It will also be compatible with the Sega Master System, as well as the MSX Computer series via emulation. The CGS will be available by year's end and will sell for just around $200. And finally this week, a new NES title is presently in development that is based on the popular Flash cartoon Eskimo Bob, which has been a staple of Newgrounds since 2001. Created by brothers Alan and Thomas Gunnan, the series features two Eskimo characters named Bob and Alfonso and their daily adventures in the frozen north. The series is also filled with a variety of personal nods and references to the various situations from the Gunnans' personal childhood. The new game, called Alfonso's Arctic Adventure, is not the first one that the Gunnans have created for the NES, because last year they also released a platforming game that featured the cartoon's title as its namesake. The team has offered a free demonstration of the game that can be played on any NES emulator. There is currently no word as to when the game would be finished. However, the first NES game was offered on physical cartridge media in both game-only and complete in box and manual versions, and has also been made available to this day on the Steam platform. That's it for this week's edition of the RGN Files. For those of you listening on VGM on FM, please stay tuned. There'll be more video game music coming up shortly. For those listening on Retro Game Network, we thank you for listening and invite you to check us out again next time. For complete details of any of this week's stories, visit RetroGameNetwork.com. For the RGN Files, I'm Christopher Christman. This week's news stories provided by the following: Armchair Arcade, Atari Age, Gravis Ludus, Indie Retro News, Kickstarter, Maddie Brennan, PC Gamer, PlayStation Life, PSN Profiles, Silicone Era, Sony Computer Entertainment, Vintage is the New Old. You're listening to VGM on FM on 107.9 WRML. Now, back to the music.